Okay, this is using a Bosu to do ankle rotations. We're going to start in dorsiflexion bias, and dorsiflexion is when the toes go towards the shin. And so I'm going to put my big toe on the center circle of the Bosu, and then I'm going to place my other foot on the outside pinky side. This is to prevent the tibia bone, which is the main lower leg bone, from rotating in a compensated position. So what this does is it keeps my right hip forward and puts it into an advantaged position to articulate through the ankle joint. And so from here, I'm going to just go through the main cardinal directions. So coming up off of the heel slightly, pressing into the big toe and little toes, and then I'm going to dorsiflex and try to bring my top of my foot towards my shin into a stretch. And then the other two cardinal directions are inversion and eversion. And so articulating essentially the side mobilization of the joint. And so to start, I'll just do a handful of those to just kind of warm up the joint and musculature, and just exploring into tension and then out of tension in that more dorsiflexion biased positioning. And then I'll do a handful of inversion, eversion movements. And I'm trying to minimize my participation from my upper leg. I'm trying to just do the articulation at the ankle joint here. And then from there, I'm going to do ankle rotations in a circular fashion. So I'll come up, and then I'll evert, and then I'll go into dorsiflexion, and then inversion, and then back to plantar flexion, heel off, and back to eversion, dorsiflexion, and then supination, inversion. And all the while, I'm pushing through, having engagement through my toes, so that that's constant through the range of motion in the ankle. The idea is to have articulation through the ankle with the stabilization of the foot and ankle joint. And so you'll do one direction, and then you'll come around and do the opposite rotation. All the while trying to articulate as much in the ankle joint. And I'm not coming up off of my heel because we're going to do a different version of this that will advantage plantar flexion or toes away from the shin. But I'm trying to get into tension with when I go into dorsiflexion and eversion, inversion. And I'm continuing to make sure that my pelvis doesn't rotate by keeping my other foot positioned so that my right side pelvis is rotating towards the left side of the door jamb here. Okay, so that's dorsiflexion bias. And then to do plantar flexion bias, I'm going to put my heel on the circle, the center of the Bosu, and then my toes will come off the edge. And again, you can do the cardinal movements. And so I'm going to plantar flex as far as I can go, so toes away from, while pushing into the big toes and the small toes. And then I'm going to go into semi-dorsiflexion. I'm not going to go extreme dorsiflexion here, because I've already done dorsiflexion with the other movement. And so again, I'm just placing that other foot on the other side of the pinky side of the foot. Now I'm going to go inversion, eversion. I'm using my hands to hold on to the door jamb here because I'm not wanting to do a full-on balance routine here. I'm just really trying to get focus on the ankle joint and all the articulations that I can do. And then I'll do circles. So plantar flex, eversion, dorsiflexion, inversion, plantar flexion, eversion, dorsiflexion. And just continue doing those movements. Just trying to explore the entire range that I have available through that full rotation. And then doing the opposite direction rotation. Okay, so obviously you want to swap feet and do the other foot through those ankle rotations, but I'll let you do that on your own.